that's one hell of an annoying monkey, I tell you that, but it's kind of funny. Let's have a look at the markets a bit here, and then we'll go on to look at some news as well and see if we can, if this was really the bottom now. I mean, there seems to be a lot of indicators pointing to that the hit of 3,000 here, 3,100, that we are finally out of the woods here. And I know Jeff Berwick has been saying for quite some time now that we might hit 3,000, and we're down here. Some Elliott wave guys are also screaming major buy here, and these are people that I've been following for at least 15 years. So I think they might be right as well. Looking at the sentiment, it's probably also a good point to get in here. But let's see if we can have a look at the charts here and the news, and then the future will bring what the future will bring. So without further ado, on the 1 hour chart here, as we can see, we had this huge rally here yesterday, and we're just consolidating now here and waiting for the next move here. So but let's make it a bit on the bigger picture here. This is the 4 hour, and we can see here as well that we really need to what's the next level here? I mean, we're just up here. If we're talking trends, we're just up here to the medium term averages. So we'll have to see how it behaves here. But we really need to push through this to kind of turn the whole trend. I mean, it's been nice if this was the buy signal. I mean, we're just there now, and we'll have to see here what exactly, if there's another push. But it certainly could be, and I mean, I think we're very, very close. If not, then there's one more push lower, and then that's it. We have the daily here. Well, the daily we've been talking about as well. It's been in this green area now since November, and we need to get above here the 4,000. We're over now here. The lower balling area is at about 3.8 to 3.9, 4,000, something like this. But once we get out of there, we will have a first buy signal. This indicator down here is already turning a bit green, and so it could be a good indication that more upside is to come here. Of course, you had this positive divergence as well here since quite some time on the RSI, so that's also a good sign. And on the weekly, I think we noticed that we hit the 200 week as well here. We went below the 125 weekly, and we're just bouncing off the 200, so that's also there should be some kind of support down here. So stay tuned, and we'll see what happens with that. On the S&P, we have I mean, here we didn't manage to break higher, and then swiftly turned lower, going below this Fibonacci level we spoke about, and now we're pushing even below this lower Bollinger. So we'll have to see, once it turns back up again, there's probably another bounce or even a bigger buy opportunity after that. On the Nasdaq, a very similar situation, but not as heavy as the S&P. So stay tuned for. We'll see if we get some action here on the upside once it turns around, because that's what I would be looking for here. And on the news front, we have. German State Bank test blockchain app for public finance management in Burkina Faso. Well, at least here they're saying the application will allow users to store and approve all the contracts in the sector using blockchain in real-time mode. The bank expects it could help reduce lengthy manual processes and ensure that funds are used properly. And I guess that's something important for banks and to keep track of. As Cointelegraph frequently reports, global banks are using blockchain to reduce paperwork, cut costs, and reduce human errors. Well, I guess they will reduce some workers as well, their employees. For instance, 26 French companies and 5 major banks conducted a Know Your Customer or KYC test based on the blockchain consortium R3's blockchain, completing a live commercial paper transaction. So it's starting to grow more and more in these areas where institutions see some kind of use for the blockchain, right? And different areas. That's interesting. What do we have here? We have Peter Thiel, of course, the big guy in the space. Electronic brokerage firm Tagomi apparently launches. The firm's offerings include cross-market execution, capital management, post-trading reporting, as well as settlement and custodial services. So this is what the institutions want as well. And of course, Peter Thiel is the billionaire there who started PayPal, right, with Elon Musk. And later in July, EOS developer Block1 secured investment from Thiel, along with crypto mining hardware billionaire Ihan Wu of Bitmain. At the time, Thiel was rumored to have invested up to 20 million in the Bitcoin through Founders Fund. So, okay, so he's giving us some action here. He's getting ready. And of course, Malta has to be in the news every 2 days, and which is positive for the space to see they're really pushing this forward. So it seems Malta is about to get a bank that will finally begin servicing crypto and blockchain companies, as well as high net worth individuals who until recently have been shunned by traditional banks or on the so-called blockchain island. The CEO and founder of RNF, Roderick Saila, well, however you pronounce it, that has been in banking for 28 years and has started a number of banks in Malta over the past 10 years. And until recently, he was also the CEO of AgriBank, a Malta licensed credit institution. So they're going to offer banking services to corporates, lending, private banking, and wealth management. So it's starting to spread now into this space as well, which is good to see for the growth in the space. And not to forget as well, Bankiera launched yesterday, I believe, their main thing, and so I need to have a look at that as well. And I think the price has been going up like 60% in the last few days. So that's something to look at, especially now when everything is so ridiculously cheap all over the place. And Iranian student in the UK chooses Bitcoin to circumvent US sanctions. According to The Guardian, hundreds of Iranian students in the United Kingdom has been denied banking services. As a result, they are falling behind on their payment dues, including their tuition fees. And 23-year-old Parsa Sada, the law student at the University of Reading, for instance, has been told to either go to Iran and bring money in cash or face expulsion from his course. I mean, that's some high-level bullying here, right? And I mean, this just shows again what a decentralized crypto can do. I mean, you're really banking the unbanked. I mean, when these bullying banks and other institutions, tell you to go to hell, then you can't do that with cryptocurrencies in the same way, and especially if it's decentralized and not controlled by a few individuals and so on. So that's good to see. This is a good example of what might happen in different areas of the world, and how blockchain can solve some of these problems if you believe in liberty and freedom for people. And I think we're gonna stop there and keep your eye on the price level here. And we need to. It would be fun if we could go over this. Well, let's take it down from the daily here to 2 hours. If we can go over this level here, 3536, well, we're already starting. And what's next? We have here, up here, it's the 4000, it's the top of the band here, and then we'll see what develops from there on. But interesting times. Good luck, guys.